Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Group Chat.
We got a big episode.
We got a group chat today.
Yeah, we had a normal life chat.
We had a normal life chat. I don't know if it's the Sunday vibes. I don't know what it is, but just three buds out here chatting about life and strategy for their kids and how not to make them losers.
Dee has a mantra that he wants the world to know.
Dee has really, I know people write us an alarming amount that say Dee really motivates them.
Yeah.
But I think he's making the transition to full motivational speaker. He has a platform he's working on.
I have a statement that I think needs to be trademarked.
I agree. I totally agree. So we really got into a deep conversation about kids and sort of how to raise them the right way to be achievers, high achievers. And then we also got into another one of our conversations. This one's a little bit different though, so don't be alarmed, about, the current work climate. Google's making some interesting moves with their employees and how they pay you based on where you live. We talk about our own personal challenges and wins. But good episode of chatting. And then we got through a lot of news. And also,
Garrett Jackson.
R.I.P. Garrett.
R.I.P. Garrett. He's moving
He's
on.
Still alive.
He's moving on.
He's moving on. He's moving to greener pastures.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
it might be browner pastures.
Yeah, it might be brown.
It's pretty green over here. So Garrett, was an intern. Okay, so Garrett was an intern, and Garrett. Well, we'll get into all of it, but the internship's up.
Yeah.
So it's back to work for you, buddy. Back to the dorm. Time's up. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
All right, since it's Garrett's last day working for the Group Chat Studios, he was an intern that we had all summer and an avid listener of the podcast. But more importantly, you're starting college again tomorrow.
Yeah.
When was the last time you were in college?
The last time I was on campus was April 2020.
April 2020. Yeah. Okay, and you were what, a sophomore then?
I was finishing my sophomore year. All of junior year, didn't go on campus once.
You didn't go on campus once junior year. Okay, and you go to USC.
Yep.
And tomorrow is the first day of school.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I'm so excited to be back. Everybody's moving in. It's good to just see the environment growing again. But we do have a 3-step COVID check to get on campus.
Yeah, what's that like?
So...
do you have to be vaccinated to be on campus?
Yes. So every student has to be vaccinated. That's the first step. We have an app we sign into with our school login. It shows proof of vaccination. Second step is, have you been tested in the last 7 days? And the third one is just a general health quiz to see if you have any symptoms.
So that's interesting because USC is kind of Trumpy. I cannot believe every student at USC is vaccinated.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids that are from Huntington Beach that go to USC. And as we've seen from the protests, the crowds in Huntington Beach don't prefer the vaccine.
I think that's definitely a thing that's more in the past of SC. I think we've definitely taken the other step in the right direction where more students are more inclined to get vaccinated at this point.
So and separate from just quickly... So you lost your whole junior year of fun.
Yeah.
Are you hearing conversations among your friends staying a fifth year? Because
I have a lot of friends that are doing a fifth year or even did part-time their junior or sophomore years so that they could have an extra semester at least at SC. Because I missed out on going abroad.
It'd be expensive, but maybe just live there for a fifth year just to get one more year of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a friend do that where he just lived in the frat, finished his one class for one semester, hung out.
And so do you have to get tested every week, you were saying?
Yeah. So in the last 7 days, you have to have a proof of a test just to get on campus.
And then, so what about in 2 weeks?
I'm going to have to get one every week to just keep going to class.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so I assume the tests are free, but is there a line or is it...
So I actually went yesterday, a little last second before school started, and it was a 35-minute line of just hundreds of kids getting tested in and out. They also have a drop-off option. You can come pick up a kit and drop it off later if you want it.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
And then what was campus like? Because I remember when I went to college at USC, that weekend going into school is just madness.
Mm-hmm.
Was it madness?
It was madness, but to get COVID tested for now. So there's not a lot going on, but it's just kids everywhere trying to get their test on campus.
No partying?
Not on campus. And also for Rush right now is just starting. So it's moratorium, which is like the dry week.
Yeah.
But the bars are definitely alive right now.
It's not like the 9-0.
The 9-0 is popping as of Wednesday.
Okay, got it. I mean, everyone in college had fake IDs. Why wouldn't they have fake vaccination cards?
There probably are at this point. I wouldn't be surprised.
That's amazing. And so then what's the vibe on campus outside of just COVID? Like people are just so happy and excited?
People are I think everyone's counting down to like the first game day. I think that's what everyone's looking forward to. Like campus is going to be alive. We're going to destroy San Jose State, hopefully.
Okay.
I don't see how we don't.
What's the protocol for the football games? How do you get in the stands?
As far as I know, it's full attendance. Just the same COVID check we do to get on campus. I'm sure they'll require vaccine, possibly proof of a test. But as far as I know, it's pretty lenient.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Well, excited for you. This is your senior year, right?
Yep, senior year.
So it's a fun year. I took, I basically probably had enough credits to graduate junior year, but I didn't want to tell my parents so I could stay. And I played basketball and I took 2 semesters of double basketball.
Nice.
And I got really fucking good at basketball. Like I was playing hours a day. But it's a really fun year. So what do you want to do when you graduate?
I mean, that's what this summer helped me figure out. I definitely have an interest in marketing. I think that's what I'm leaning towards right now. That's what we spent our whole time doing with Jason, whether it's TikToks or anything for the brands.
Okay.
So I think I'm leaning that way right now. And I'm finishing this year minoring in consumer behavior. So it lines up pretty nice.
All right. Well, best of luck to you, Garrett. Thank you for all your hard work this summer.
Yeah,
Jason,
thanks,
are you still going to college?
I am. I'm online.
Are you dropping out or?
No, I'm not dropping out. So I did 12 units over the summer.
Okay.
And then I'm doing, now that I'm, full time here, I decided to break up my last semester into 2 part-time semesters. So it'll be cheaper and I'll just be able to, be efficient here and be efficient there.
Okay. All right. I don't know what that means, but I assume you're getting a diploma at some point.
I'm getting a diploma. I'm not dropping out. I'm getting a degree.
Finish strong.
Finish strong. Shout out to my mom.
All right, Garrett. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, let's talk Prop 22. Prop 22's been like a war zone for Uber and Lyft.
Yeah.
It's essentially the question of whether these drivers are independent contractors or employees.
Yep.
Prop 22 didn't pass in the last vote, right?
Yeah.
No.
We took a vote on it. It was a big thing.
No, it did pass in November.
Or it basically in favor of Uber, Lyft, Instacart.
Not in favor of
whichever yes or no was, it was in favor of keeping them as independent.
Good point. Okay, yeah. So that's what I meant, I guess, it didn't, they were trying to switch it to where they would be employees. That didn't happen.
Yep.
What's happening now? The battle's not over.
So the judge in the case is striking down Proposition 22. The gig industry funded ballot initiative was unconstitutional and is therefore unenforceable.
So they're
Here's what's troubling about it. The state voted. So what's this judge's jurisdiction in going against the will of the people?
It's a weird roundabout way, right? I mean, that's a very interesting, we voted, we made our decision, and then there's a new, there was a meeting that happened or multiple where it was okay, how else can we get this done? Well, we could say it's unconstitutional as a whole, and so the whole thing was irrelevant.
Yeah, I don't know if this means anything other than it's just going to cause a bunch of lawyers to make a lot of money, because if the bill passed already, clearly the California voters believe this is the right path, that drivers should remain independent.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what I would love to do see is a study done on both sides saying, if Uber drivers were considered full-time employees and given benefits and all that stuff, would we have more Uber drivers or not right now?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, you'd have less. No, Postmates and Uber have done these studies, and overwhelmingly, the drivers want to be independent.
We had a young man working out of the office last week, and he ended up chatting up with. He was in town from Ohio, chatting up his Uber driver, and he started asking the Uber driver like, "How much money you making?" He's like, "I'm doing good." He's like, "More than $5,000 a month?" And he's like, "Oh no, more." And he goes, "More than $10,000 a month?" He's like, "No, more." He's like, "More like $15,000 a month." He's like.
Is that surge thing though? Like, is that why the prices have?
Yeah, I'm sure the prices going up is a huge part of it. You're talking about a ride that normally would cost me $10 is $30.
Yeah.
So for a guy probably used to make $5,000 a month is now making $15,000, makes a whole lot of sense.
That's a shit ton of money.
It is. Yeah, I mean, like when kids are complaining about money, go drive Uber.
I mean,
$15,000 a month.
Invest in a Suburban.
Yeah, I mean,
my God, that guy was an Uber black driver. Or?
No, Uber X.
Uber X.
No.
Yes.
Because you can get the volume on Uber X compared to Uber Black. If you ever are in an Uber X, the iPhone just keeps beeping because there's so many requests.
Do you think though?
There's not enough drivers.
Do you think in LA, an Uber SUV driver is sitting, like waiting for?
No, I don't think any Uber driver right now is sitting.
So those guys are making $20,000.
No, it's just the volume, right?
Yeah.
I think you're busy, but I don't think you're busy like to the T of there's probably some lulls in a black car. I could be completely wrong, but
this is why like California can't get out of its own way. They've already destroyed San Francisco with terrible housing laws, not letting people develop, not letting people build. Now you have, I mean, how much in market cap between Uber, DoorDash, Instacart has been created? It's probably north of $200 billion, all based on the gig economy, all based on independent workers that actually want to be independent. Like, sure, you could find the anecdotal guy that wants to be full-time, but then go choose a different career path. The drivers have spoken. They want to be independent. They want to work 4 hours and pick up some extra cash after, on a Saturday night and not have to do it 7 days a week. That's the whole beauty of the whole industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
is weird.
It's a really weird situation, and I don't understand. I'm curious to see how other states are going to handle it because California clearly politically is so dysfunctional that we can't. We have a recall election coming up, which I don't even know what the hell is going to happen. It's a circus.
It's so crazy.
The candidates are a circus.
Why wasn't there like a viable second candidate? Like, why? I'm really curious. Like Larry Elder, who was a radio show host, I think is the closest that has a shot.
Yeah.
But why didn't anyone serious jump in the ring?
I also think who the fuck, it's kind of like being a cop, like right now. Who wants that job?
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the weird thing about politics is I think before it already attracted, interesting people. Because it's like, who really wants that job anyway? I'm talking 10 years, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But right now, looking at the political landscape, what? Smart.
Yeah, successful.
Person, happy person wants that job. It would be terrible.
And by the way, California, sorry to interrupt, but it's complete. Think about all the issues in California.
Oh my God.
We have, besides the political just disparity of in any opinion, you have wildfires, you have a historic drought, you have
murder and robberies left and right.
Crime through the roof. Inequality on housing, inequality on income.
I mean, look, you tried to be in charge of like 2 blocks and you gave up after the first meeting.
Yeah. No, I lasted 1 year. Fuck you.
You went to that first meeting and you came back like, well, I don't know. That might have been a weird decision.
After the first meeting, I knew it was hopeless.
Yeah.
This was going nowhere. But
he knew he fucked up.
Yeah.
I guess the one motivation if you're a young person to get into national politics, you're automatically employed by every private equity company, hedge fund. Like if you look at what guys like Paul Ryan and all these guys who had national positions, they're all getting bags.
Yeah, but that's 20 years.
You're talking about the young, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. I'm talking who can come in and actually fix. Who can take Gavin Newsom's job?
Oh yeah, no one's fixing anything. That I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, like you could have had Garrett make the mistake of being like, you know what, I'm going to make a change.
Yeah.
But that could have happened. But
Garrett knows better. There's no change to be made.
Stepping in he did 6 months with us and he's like, nope, one would never do that.
Yeah.
But stepping in for Gavin Newsom, who are you going to get?
Yeah.
And it's a great point. There's going to be so many even more terrible politicians. If no smart 21-year-old wants to go into politics, like what are politics going to look like in 15 years? Think about the morons we're going to be dealing with then.
Logan Paul, governor of California.
I'm into it.
I would hope
Yeah.
over some of these other guys.
Yeah.
I mean, after a while, after his boxing career, let's say he's got a decade of boxing left ahead of him.
Yeah. It's like,
He's
now
governor.
I'm gonna beat this state's ass.
I beat everyone else.
You don't like taxes? Kicking their ass. Crime? Beating its ass.
He would win. That's such a good.
Yeah. You guys know, this is a really quick side story that could be a whole story, but I don't think we ever talked about it. I was just made aware and showed the news story the other day that like sometime in the last 6 months, 2 girls beat a man to death on the street outside of EP and LP.
No way.
What?
Yeah. You can look up the story.
Like down the street from us.
Yep. 2 women at 1 a.m. or whatever after like.
Did they
EP
have
and
like
LP.
Weapons?
Not that I know of. I think.
Just with their fist?
Yep. And kicks probably. Wild. Wild.
What the fuck?
Yep. And I was also talking to a doctor friend of mine over the weekend who his friend, like who's an older like doctor person, was driving up through the hills, got pinned in by 2 SUVs, pulled out of his car at gunpoint, robbed, and then the guys went to his house because they had like home on his navigation, took his car, left him on the street, robbed his house. And that's like the stories you would never hear because that's just like a Beverly Hills doctor, you know?
Oh my God.
Anyway, just wanted to interject really quick.
Yeah, who wants to be the
Crime
governor of this
wave.
state?
Los Angeles crime wave. Anyway.
That's
You're
right.
telling me this is in the hills.
Yeah. But if you Google EP and LP, whatever, it's fully, we just missed it. I think it was maybe during quarantine when EP and LP was like one of the first to open. Wild.
You know what I do because of that on my Uber, my Google Maps, home and work are bullshit.
Yeah.
I purposely put wrong addresses.
Yeah, just send it.
My home's actually. Sorry, Jason.
Why'd you even say that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bleep that out. Jesus Christ.
Bleep that. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Really sorry, Jason.
Yeah.
Okay, next up. Let's go into kind of business land here.
Yeah.
Talk about the giant that is Amazon. I would say, like, when you think about Amazon, you think about probably 2 things. Revolutionized e-com and destroyed brick and mortar, like especially the big department stores. Interesting turn of events.
Yep.
Amazon is looking to open a big department store.
So
how's that for?
I love it.
you.
I mean, we just heard Macy's is having a record fucking year. So it's like,
True.
so the timing is perfect in terms of there is an appetite for retail. Traditional department stores were about 100,000 square feet. So your Macy's, your Sears, your JCPenney. Amazon is coming with a smaller footprint, 30,000 square feet. So that's probably 1 floor of a 3-story department store.
Yeah, 100K is ridiculous.
It's just, there's not 100K of hot shit.
I mean, think about how much shit you're filling with
Exactly,
that.
literally shit.
Yeah.
So Amazon's coming in with department stores. I think the only issue I'm going to have with this is it's going to be filled with majority of their own private brands, right? Yeah. And they'll probably have stuff like Apple iPhones and other weird little stuff from other brands. But I think the real challenge is like, this is where I have a problem with Amazon is they already have the most amount of data on consumer behavior.
Yeah.
Now they did it online and they're getting away with it. No one's saying a goddamn thing to them.
Yeah.
Now they're going to go into physical retail with all that data, which is completely unfair advantage.
And think about, they have the zip code data, what sells in each area.
Yeah. I mean,
whereas like Macy's has to guess.
Yeah.
Like if Macy's in Century City is pretty much guessing what assortment would sell. And they'll be right sometimes, they'll be wrong sometimes. Amazon knows exactly what sells in Century City.
But isn't that Macy's fault? Like, isn't it like...
Yeah, so I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with that piece. I have a problem with the private brands piece. I don't have a problem with Amazon opening department stores and using their data to make the best experience for the customer.
Yeah.
My problem is you can't be filling it up with their fucking brands.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that's like hard to police but is just kind of fucked is they used other brands to gather data and then across the map.
Yeah.
And then swapped it out for their own.
Exactly.
I mean, but at the same time, we know businesses that do that we know personally.
Yeah.
And it's a really great business move. They're just not, I mean, Amazon's just way better at it.
And it's too big. They're 40% of online already. Yeah. Like once they enter the department store world, we already know that experience is going to be phenomenal. Shopping experience will be easy.
I can't wait.
It's going to be great. But then it's like you're walking down the aisles. It's like Amazon almond butter, Amazon freaking shoes. It's just like
phone chargers, the whole shebang.
Yeah, it's going to have everything we want.
Yeah,
and
I love it.
It's going to have like it's annoying.
It's annoying.
Yeah, I think the thing people should understand, like retail still works. The problem what happened 10, 15 years ago is we overdeveloped malls, we overdeveloped retail.
Yeah.
So like, PacSun's a great example. At 800 stores, it didn't work. At 300 stores, it's a phenomenal business.
Yeah. That's true. I think that is the story across the board.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's every store. It's like literally, you might not work where you're at. You should be a third of that.
Yeah.
And you're probably fine.
Yeah. And now that's what's happening with all of these retailers that were smart and understood that, moved quickly, got to survive. And now you're seeing some level of growth with your digital and your brick and mortar business. The real problem is like Amazon, when it comes to shopping, is they just eclipsed Walmart in sales, total sales.
Oh, really?
Okay. This is just one part of Amazon's business. This does not include like...
Yeah, we got to break them up.
Yeah, I mean, you got to break these
guys up. And this guy has
up.
time to fly to outer space for shits and giggles.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't see any of the Waltons in a rocket.
Yeah, exactly.
They're on a yacht. That's
That's very true.
Yeah, I mean, we have to be very careful what we let Amazon do as like a country at this point.
Here's an interesting thing that I just want you guys to take on is, I think the story for the last like 5 or 8 years has been like... Ecom's disrupting wholesale, ecom. But now we're kind of seeing that like it seems like you can only grow to a certain point on ecom, and everyone kind of turns to some sort of physical presence.
Yeah.
The Warby Parkers and everyone sort of says, okay, there's kind of a ceiling here to a degree, and we need some sort of, it's not no brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Which I just think is interesting that even Amazon they're obviously realizing that. How else do we grow? Well, what if we did, Whole Foods and did grocery stores? What if we did department stores? Like they're going to have, I would think in 5 years, a pretty significant physical footprint.
Oh yeah. And I mean, and the way they're able to, Amazon, I bet you quietly is the biggest freaking leaser of any properties in America, between warehouses that they already have and soon to be square footage. It's going to be like, I'm sure Walmart is probably the biggest, but Amazon between warehouses, retail for Whole Foods, retail for department stores, retail for their bookstores.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are going to have 10,000 stores in the next couple of years.
And if you think about the opportunity, in 2010, there was $184 billion done in department stores. In 2019, so pre-pandemic, because the pandemic numbers it's not really apples to apples, was $135 billion. My guess is it doesn't decelerate as quickly in the next 10 years. So you're talking about a north of $100 billion revenue opportunity annually. Like, it makes sense for Amazon to open up department stores.
Yeah. This is interesting. I feel like more people, like Walmart did it well, more people actually had an opportunity to have the brick and mortar footprint and master the e-com.
Yeah.
But I feel like they didn't, like most didn't. Most kind of stuck to their guns, let it be too late. And now all of these e-com giants are opening wholesale, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You would have needed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, just using PacSun as an example, and Dee, you know better than I do, and by no means, I mean, I absolutely love those guys, but like, I don't know if they do like same day delivery from their site because you have your stores. And if I was one of these stores, I would strongly consider not only cutting my actual store footprint, but like, do you make the store half the size and you use the back for inventory that you do same day delivery around that city, and now the people you can reach? Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's a really unique opportunity in the way people are blending those two things.
Yeah, I mean, if you talked to Mr. Exit last episode or 2 episodes ago, he was talking about last mile.
Yeah.
And most malls where is in the last mile of their customer.
Yeah.
So it's almost like if I'm Simon Property or Westfield, I would literally create the last mile distribution system. You have these huge parking lots.
Yeah.
You have the access to the stores. Like Westfield and Simons should be the last mile delivery.
Yeah.
They should invest that money. They're humongous companies. Go invest $5 billion in the last mile system for all the stores, because then if you're in a densely populated part of town
Yeah.
and you have a mall store and you get to offer same day courtesy of Westfield,
Yeah.
dude, think about it. Like especially in leave Century City in LA, but like you go to the suburbs, the same people are going to the mall every week.
Yeah.
They all live within a mile or two.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so easy to master that if when you already have access to the stores.
Yeah. And I feel like people are sometimes choosing products that they might actually be less excited about, but it's the fact you don't have to leave your house and it gets there tomorrow from Amazon.
Yeah.
As opposed to like if you could get something from, Zoomies or whatever and it was cooler.
Yeah.
Or name any more branded store.
Yeah.
I feel like you would choose it, but the convenience is just so much worse.
Yeah. You always settle for like the weird non-branded version of
Yeah, you're like,
Amazon.
fuck it. Do I really need it?
Yeah.
I could cut the
And
tag
if you
off.
think about the return opportunity Amazon has, because I'm pretty sure you don't get your refund until they process it at the Amazon Center. So that takes a day or two. So if you can just drop it off at the Amazon department store, instantly get your refund, spend it on something else.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I mean, Amazon did that test with Kohl's.
Yep.
Where the returns, and I bet you they went and got so much data out of that.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
And
Kohl's.
they're like, we're not going to buy Kohl's. We're
Thank
doing
you.
this ourselves.
Yeah.
I think they end up buying Kohl's.
You think?
I think if they're allowed to, they go buy it and just gut those stores really quick.
Yeah.
Because just to acquire the real estate
I agree.
takes years. It's just cheaper just to buy Kohl's and just put a bunch of M80 in
smiley
on
on the
just
front.
fucking
Yeah.
blow
Put
that shit
a
up.
smiley face on the front and M80 on the inside.
Yeah.
What do you think? How many Kohl's stores would you guess there is?
I have no idea. Let's look it up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when I think about the footprint of signing leases, that it's too long to sit there and figure all this
I
shit
agree.
out.
Why would you bother?
Yeah.
I heard a rumor while you're looking that up that there is a shortage, like a severe shortage in Sprinter vans.
1,100 stores.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a quick growth.
And it's cheap. I bet you Kohl's is a cheap company to buy.
I heard there's a severe shortage in Sprinter vans, those Mercedes-Benz Sprinter vans that we take to Coachella every year and we love so much because Jeff Bezos has done something like buy the next 2 years of inventory for delivery vehicles. Like there's this weird shit happening,
Kohl's is $9 billion in market cap. That's
from
nothing.
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 That's nothing.
$9 billion?
Not for old Jeff.
I mean, they're buying podcasts that are worth $9 billion, pretty much.
Yeah, let's talk about that. We have this article about Amazon's like podcast play. I mean, I think we kind of know all of Amazon's media plays are advertising plays, but they have been going on a buying streak, and we have this article about kind of the strategy there.
So it's becoming apparent. They bought the Smartless podcast, spending more than $20 million a year for that podcast. That podcast.
Okay.
Let me explain something real quick.
Yeah.
Averages from 7 million to 10 million downloads a month, which is nothing compared to we know what the big guys get.
Well, that's the same price essentially that I think Call Her Daddy got.
That's what I was going to say. That is the worst deal in the history of media.
$6 million to $7 million a year in advertising before their Amazon tie-up. That's what the rumored revenue they were doing yearly, which is probably high for a podcast that size.
Yeah,
I think because it's Jason Bateman and it's always Will Arnett.
It's a good set. It's an easy sell.
Easy sell. Yeah, it's a safe. 3 white guys.
Totally.
That's triple the rate. But I think like when I saw that and they bought it because they wanted to enter into the advertising race that's happening in podcasts. Yeah. I was like, okay, that piece is really, really smart because they're so big already now in digital advertising. And I think the way you end up getting more and more TV dollars transferred over to digital is like by bundling your Amazon Prime spend on your website, your display, and then you throw in podcasts, and then you throw in Echo, whatever you're shoving advertisements down that thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's how you win big if you're Amazon. I still, if you wanted the downloads, get something bigger.
Yeah.
Unless they're playing it safe that they did homework and said, you know what? Procter & Gamble likes the Jason Bateman, Will Arnett.
Could be. Or do they think like we could do movies with them?
Yeah.
And pump it through the podcast and pump it like it's all, maybe we keep, like there's a bigger picture to what these guys can do as opposed to Call Her Daddy. I don't know, but I agree. I mean, look, we also don't know the details of all these deals, but like it just doesn't quite seem to like make total sense.
Yeah.
Like why Call Her Daddy got what she got, why these guys got what they got.
I mean, I don't know how many down. I've never seen Smartless at the top of the list.
I've never heard of it unless we talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
And if they're once a week, 6 to 7 million downloads a month, we know they're aggregating. Those aren't uniques.
Yeah.
So what are they getting? Like 1 to 2 million episodes?
No, they're probably getting 1 and 1 million an episode. And then the rest of the downloads are just coming from old episodes.
Old
people
episodes,
listen. Yeah.
That's nothing. So Rogan, I think, does north of 20 million listeners. And Call Her Daddy always charts the top 5 on Apple before the tie-up. Maybe Call Her Daddy needed Suitman because she might have signed the worst deal in the history of media.
She might have, man. I'm confused. I'd be curious to see.
Yeah.
Because there's also could be so many intricacies that we don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually can give you some round numbers. They say they have $6 to $7 million. They're getting 20 million a year. It doesn't say. I heard the Bill Simmons, when he sold for $250 million, was doing 20 to 25 million in revenue. So he got a 10x multiple on that.
But like, is Jason Bateman and them exclusive to Amazon?
For podcasts?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming.
So.
Like, I don't know. There's also the play of like to me, where Call Her Daddy is really going to come up is when that deal's up. Because she's going to spend 3 years, make $60 million, get all of Spotify's marketing, which is becoming the number one place to listen to podcasts. And then the deal's going to be up.
Yeah.
And they're going to either have to renegotiate and pay her $200.
Or she can go to Amazon or wherever.
Yeah, or she just has the biggest podcast in the world that she owns, for that demographic. That's the only part I see. Whereas I think like if I'm an agent, like being tucked away in the Amazon world, I don't know. I don't know that that's as good of a partnership.
Yeah.
But who the hell knows?
All right.
All right. Well, either way, holler at us. You know what I mean? Any of the above.
We'll take from anyone.
Yeah, literally. I mean, you got anything going?
OnlyFans, you need more content now.
Let's go. We won't have to take our pants off anymore.
We'll just talk about sex since you can't show it anymore.
Totally.
Tim, that's all Tim does. We've got the expert.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's all Tim does is have sex, it appears. So he can just talk about his weekend.
The episode will be called Fucking with Tim.
Bucking with Tim. What was this weekend's adventure, Tim?
It's like my old brand where you guys are just trying to set me up with someone.
Only fucking.
Yeah. It's a better brand. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Now that I'm working out 3 times a week with Anand's trainer, it's time to be filled with vitamins and minerals.
Yeah, we have the fitness part down. Now we need to supplement it with something, right?
Yeah, well, I was thinking about it. I definitely need to get my greens. So yesterday I hit 3 kids' birthday parties and I had 10 slices of pizza. 10.
Wow.
Wow.
And had no vegetable in sight, no nothing.
Well, no, the margarita pizza had some basil on it.
I took it off. I don't like basil. I took that off. So I'm so glad I still drink Athletic Greens every single day. Because that is, at this point, with peak birthday season for our kids, that's the only way I'm going to get...
But in theory, it should never be peak, right? Birthdays happen all year round.
So I'll tell you why it's peak for us is that when Dominic was born, we joined a mommy group and everyone was born in August. It's all recent mothers. So that's like the core group of kids that we spend the most amount of time with. So that's why this is like peak birthday season. But luckily, I got Athletic Greens, all my 75 vitamins and minerals for daily needs. And of course, for all our group chat listeners, a deal. athleticgreens.com/group chat. You get free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs. I see a lot of you people on boats and planes and vacations now. You got to be healthy on the road. You can't be one of those people, drunk, groping flight attendants. Just have Athletic Greens on a flight. No need for alcohol anymore. Don't go to a football game, get drunk and beat someone up. Have an Athletic Greens instead.
Watch it at home.
Watch it at home and have Athletic Greens. You're not fit for society. Let's be real. When I'm driving around here, most of you people stay home, have an Athletic Greens, live a long, healthy life. All right, athleticgreens.com/group chat.
Interesting move here.
Yes.
I like this one. Google.
Yep.
So we've had a lot of discussions about work from home. You know, how a lot of people are preferring to work from home as opposed to going to the office. There's work from home is this huge thing. Some companies are okay with it. Some aren't, whatever. Google has what appears to be a solution. It seems like on some level, they're allowing the work from home thing. But here's the catch.
Yeah.
Depending on your particular circumstances, where you live, stuff like that, there will be salary adjustments in accordance to those factors.
Yeah, so Google in Manhattan, New York City, someone leaked a screenshot showing that if you lived, for example, in Stamford, Connecticut, your salary would be cut 15% if you chose to work from home. If you choose to live within the 5 boroughs of New York City, they said they will not cut your salary at all. So I think it's like a cost of living situation.
But so you're still working from home in Manhattan.
Yes.
But they just understand cost of living is
cost
higher.
of living is higher. And maybe that the reason why they're doing that, because they know that within the near future, transition will be back.
And they want people close.
They want to be because if people start leaving all over the country, it's going to be very, very difficult. There's an example of a worker who left San Francisco for Lake Tahoe and would have their pay cut by 25%.
Damn.
You want to live in Lake Tahoe and go fucking skiing every day? That's a 25% cut, you punk.
You little punk. Time to downgrade that cabin.
Yeah, your little shit cabin with your 25%.
Shit cabin. Your nice little speedboat on the lake.
Yeah, more like a dinghy.
You're out of here, dinghy.
Don't you just, not that I support this, but don't you just think that lawsuits are going to happen? Class action lawsuits from employees.
Yeah,
like you're discriminating against me. I do the same work as someone in San Francisco. Why shouldn't I?
Yeah, you're locationist.
You're a locationist, huh?
That might be a new term.
I really hope that whoever the judge is throws all those out because I'm okay with it.
It depends on if there's an R or a D before the name. You know what I mean? Because I do feel like it's to me, it honestly kind of reminds me of the Uber thing where somebody is obviously fighting maybe even more than needed for like the rights of workers. If it is true that the majority actually want to be independent contractors, then someone's like doing too much.
Yeah.
So there will be someone that can't wait to take that fight.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe that will happen. I agree with Anand on that. I think we can't like at the end of the day, it's the company's choice.
Yep.
And if the company loses workers because of it, then they'll adjust. And if they don't lose workers, here's what I really think what's happening, because Stitch Fix just cut flexible scheduling away and said, and their stylist for their subscription service, you get to work from home for most of their stylists. And so they allowed before flexible scheduling. They told people you now have to work certain hours and people are up in arms. You can't tell anyone to do anything.
No.
And so companies are private. They can do whatever the fuck they want. All this is going to happen is they're either going to continue to find more artificial intelligence to replace these jobs, or they're going to go more and more will continue to go overseas.
Yeah.
And so a company like Google, they have offices all over the world.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, I can get, if I'm going to let a person in Lake Tahoe work, I'd rather have a person in Bangalore and pay them half.
Yeah. Yeah, it's scary, man. I don't know. I don't know. But the one thing that I do like is I think there's a little bit of a too good to be true situation happening right now, which is that you can make your nice salary from like the big city place and then you can move to small city and you can cheat the system a little bit. And I think we all know we're cheating a little bit when we do that. And I think it takes some of the bigger companies to try to figure that out. And then a lot of the smaller companies will sort of adopt what that's happening. You know, so I props to the big companies for at least trying and experimenting solutions.
Well, the big companies are also in a much different place, right? Like they'll have a line of people who want these jobs no matter what.
Yeah.
So I think the small companies are the ones that really are going to get punished because like it's already hard to recruit people, keep people. And so small companies are going to have to be more flexible or pay more money just to recruit talent.
But don't you think they'll kind of set the tone? Like the problem is there's no normal right now.
Yeah.
In this company, you might be able to do that. In this company, you can do that. There is no sort of just like what we understand as like normal. This is normal. And I feel like hopefully these big companies can land on what like the status quo is, and it makes sense, and then we could do our version, or smaller companies could do their own version.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that will eventually happen, but I think the market will determine.
Yeah,
we won't really be up if Google sees no drop off in people applying for jobs. Because of this change, and honestly, I don't think they will. Because there'll be tons of kids that were dying to work at these companies.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah, you would think so. But I never thought I'd see a shortage in Uber drivers.
Yeah, I think we'll finally, in California at least, I think unemployment enhancements for the unemployment enhancements that they were getting weekly and monthly end September 4th. So let's see what happens to the workforce post September 4th. Like, is it still just as hard to hire employees? Do people still just won't fill these jobs? But I do agree with Dee. It's going to affect the small businesses the most because it's just going to be so hard to attract talent kind of profitably, because when you're a small business, you got to have people willing to buy in and believe in this like vision and dream that it's going to be something bigger. Like remember when we started Young and Reckless, like the early employees bought into a dream. They weren't making money.
Yeah, big time. But look, let me say this too, though. I think that like just using ourselves as an example for the size of our companies and stuff like that, that still exists. Like there is still a type of person that wants, I mean, look at the room. Look at the people in the room, really. Yeah. I mean, these are all people that believe in what we're doing, like being a part of it, like coming into an office, like to feel like they're contributing to something that's fun and that you know what I mean? So not everyone, that's my only hope. My only hope is like even in the job interviews and stuff that I've been doing, I see people that still are excited about being a part of something exciting and don't necessarily want to like move to Utah and work for Google.
So I think that happens when you start, no matter what, in your work career. But what you're seeing is as time goes on, just think about it. What are some of the most admired companies in America? You take Apple, Amazon, Google. These are just like iconic American companies, right?
Kylie Lipkit.
Kylie Lipkit, ColourPop. Pick a company and there's people shitting on it.
Oh, that's for sure.
Employees are shitting on their company and they're the most admired place to work at.
Yeah. But I think that'll just also unfortunately become like the new norm too.
Yeah.
Like people shit on everything. That's just the internet, and it's just like I don't trust that anymore.
Like if you go on Glassdoor and look at any company, every company's the worst place to work.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. Is it's just the same as like if everyone's special, no one's special. If everyone's shit, no one's shit.
Yeah, exactly.
At a certain point.
Yeah.
Because Glassdoor loses its power if everywhere to work is miserable. Then it's like okay, then it's just fucking working is miserable.
Yes,
I got it. That's what Glassdoor says. You know what I'm saying? It's a place to talk shit about working.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem that I think the workforce is going to continue to have, is because there's just unrealistic expectations everyone has of what a work life looks like.
Yeah.
And it's not what you thought it was. It's fucking hard.
Aren't we trying to pass more money to hand out? Like we're not done, right?
We're still handing out the family credits. That goes till the January.
Yeah, but like
at what point are we done and we're done trying? Like there's no more money and we're not trying anymore to pass new bills.
I think in California, it goes from $3,000 tax-free to $1,600 tax-free at September 4th. That's a big difference.
That's a big difference.
I don't know if you go to work. I don't know if you go to work yet.
No.
That's the additional $1,600. That's additional.
Yeah, but the beauty of the $3,000 tax-free is you go work under the table, clear another $2-3 grand, you're rich.
Yeah, but no one's working instead.
No, you could do the weed companies. We know people.
Okay, weed companies.
Look, here's an interesting challenge that this is how my brain is trying to think about it, that I will give myself the challenge is it's our job to always create something that is inspiring that people want to come work at.
Yeah.
And if you do that, there will always be a group that will believe in that vision and what you're doing, and they'll want to leave their house and come work for you.
Yeah, I agree.
At Winners,
it's very hard to do.
At Winners, have you found people pushing back on coming into the office?
Well, you guys are work from home still, right?
We're work from home still, but like we haven't pushed it to start happening. But there are definitely people, like I can see the early signs of like people are comfortable in their new thing. And people are exploring ideas like, well, I could move to fucking Riverside and like have a home
and collect this
and a family and
fat
like,
paycheck.
I'm thinking about that.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely, the conversations are happening, but Winners is also right now an example of that, where so many people do believe in it in such a big way that
They'll make sacrifices.
they're really motivated to come in and be a part of this thing.
Yeah.
You know, as you get older and you've been around for longer and you get bigger and you have 300 employees, that's very hard to do.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying like, oh, that's what you got to do. It's so easy. But that's the only way that I see like a definite fix. Because I've been doing job interviews and there are people that are excited about being a part of something.
Well, obviously, in the interview, they're not going to be like, I don't know, man, you got a game, it looks good to me.
Well, no. I'm saying, of course. I'm saying from the interview to the job hiring to actually onboarding people. Like there's a group of people that are, they just, you know, like people, not everyone's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So I would say like second sort of best to that as far as purpose goes is joining a company that you really believe in the purpose, you know, what you guys are up to.
Yeah.
But you brought up a good point, and I think that's super important, that excitement wanes over time. So the first few years of a company that's growing really fast, it's super exciting. Everyone's motivated.
Yeah.
Then by year, this is the, I mean, we've all been around, built companies for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
This is what happens. Early times, everyone's super excited. The business is growing. Everyone's pumped. Those early employees, after year 3 or 4, start getting jealous that they're not making as much money when the company's growing so fast. Yeah. So they start getting bitter. Yeah. And then you have to recycle them out to younger people that, you know, have that excitement. And then that starts to wane. And it's that constant balance of how do you keep people excited when everyone thinks they're the reason the company's doing so well.
Yeah, that's why what I'm trying to do too, and this is where I go off into my own world here, is like read stories about great places like Pixar. Like I'm reading a book right now about Pixar. And like what happens there?
A lot of sexual harassment from what I remember.
Yeah.
I think the honest answer...
Company bonding.
I think the honest answer, and it's why technology companies build such like armies, is equity.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely a big one.
And they have to believe that you could potentially be the next Square, the next Stripe, and that their equity is actually going to be meaningful. And then you can get people motivated all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. But that's always been a challenge. I just feel like now it's way more of a challenge because there is no norm. Everyone is looking at the option of either A, I could work remote, B, I could start my own thing. Because look at all these people starting their own things, and now I know how to work, you know, Shopify and do my thing. Yeah. Or C, I could move away and keep this job and have a better life. There's a lot of those new options on the table.
And add one more wrench in that whole scheme. Young people have figured out how to make money in crypto to earn enough to live well. Like trading NFTs, mining, DeFi.
But do you honestly think that a large group of people have learned, and I don't think I'm not challenging you that you're wrong, but I'm curious. A big enough group of people have learned to make the type of money that you could pay your bills and actually live.
So I think
those are the employees that would go to it would be
smart kids.
They would typically go to Google and Facebook, and they're like, "Fuck that! I can do this on my own." I would have gone to Goldman. I literally heard a story on Friday. A very successful venture investor in LA. He poached a Goldman kid that's like 24 years old and paid him $150,000. He said, "Figure out NFTs for me." And they're making a crap load of money. So I think it's coming from those types of companies. Yeah. They're going to start having trouble hiring because
what about like...
Okay, but you're talking about you're talking about the best investment bank in the world, the smartest fucking kids go to Goldman Sachs. So it's not for everybody.
But let's just say this. Yeah. Let's say you go like above like streetwear land, but you go below like Google and Goldman. And so where are you at? You're at like Glossier, like that type of employee.
Yeah.
Are they doing that?
No.
Like what are they doing? That's what I'm most interested in for our world is like, where are the talented, but you're not like a Google, future star.
They're getting paid very, very well at probably like an emerging company.
Yeah.
And it's hard for them to make a lot of moves because they're making a lot of cash.
Yeah.
I mean, these people at these.
But those people aren't trading out to go trade like crypto and NFT.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's the crowd. I don't think that's the crowd that's doing it.
Yeah. It's interesting. We'll see where it lands. I do think at some level it has to land. I think there's a lot of free money still out in the world.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of like fake dreams being told on social media about how you can look what I did.
I love those. I read and watch all of that.
That's part of the problem. I literally will never forget the story. I don't think this is private, but if it is, we cut it out. That Anand or someone told me about like your cousin in India who was like kind of bitter because he saw on social media the way that American influencers lived and was like, why isn't life that? Like these people are, and like, I think that bitterness is like permeating through society. I think that there is generally a feeling of like, I should be able to get rich alone. Look at all the people doing it. I see them every day. Yeah. Everyone has an NFT thing. Everyone has a crypto come up.
Everyone has
an
Eurus.
entrepreneur. Everyone's got a goddamn Eurus.
Yeah.
What I should be able to, I shouldn't be working at some stupid company. Like I really think that that's a big part of.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, social media is all fake, so it's hard for the average person. Because like I run by Platinum Motorsports every day when I go running. They literally have on their sign, cars for photos. Like they know they probably make so much money renting a Lambo for $200 for a picture.
Yeah, for sure.
And you don't even drive.
People don't know that. People just feel a sense of like, I'm living, my life is shit.
Yeah.
And everyone's out there getting rich on their own. I think that there's this thing happening, especially right now, where there's like so much free money. There's so much newfound flexibility because no one knows what the fuck is going on. And you have this sense that you should be a self-made rich person because everyone is, because that's the way it looks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't you think?
Well, Anand had a meeting. I don't know if you'll share this with with someone he works with. And he was saying how people in LA aren't really rich.
Yeah.
You had a meeting with someone who told you that?
Yes.
He's a private wealth guy.
A private wealth manager. And if we think social media is fake, I think Beverly Hills and Bel Air might be fake. Because he basically said...
everyone's like living on a fucking razor's edge?
Yes. Everyone's a quarter away from going broke. Doesn't matter if you're a 7-figure guy, an 8-figure guy. Not everyone, but there's a large portion of Los Angeles wealthy people that are just max levered.
I mean, fuck a Lambo pick. Imagine if you have like your kids are in a private school you can't afford.
Well, that's what he was saying. He was like, people are so over leveraged with school, everything.
The country club membership.
Yes.
Country club membership.
The staff.
Exactly. All that. And then most people have illiquid assets that you can't just turn into cash. So if there's a super downturn, you have to fire sale everything and you're broke.
I came up with a really hot idea. I don't know if I want to share it publicly. My real estate idea on it. Should I share
What's that? No, don't share it.
By the way, I've told a couple of friends about your movie idea. I really feel like you need to develop it.
Jad texted me saying you should go meet.
You should sit with the writer.
Okay, he said I know the writer.
Yeah,
we have a mutual friend. He's like, hit him up. So I hit him up. I'm like, we should write.
I'm just saying this is one of those Hollywood stories of like was in clothing for 30 years, blah blah blah, wrote a hit movie and fucking Dee Murthy, the founder of blah 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 Pictures.
Didn't Samuel L. Jackson not get his Hollywood break till his 40s?
Yeah, well, there you go.
I'm sure. You want to know the other... Oh, Jad told it. The Sylvester Stallone story. You're like Sylvester.
I'm creating Rocky. This is a franchise.
Yeah, you're not living out of your car. You're living out of your office on Wilshire.
Yeah.
I think we could have a real Hollywood story here. And I want you to... Whatever it takes, I really want you to write it.
We'll have to do it then.
Okay. Elon Musk made a robot.
Yeah.
So do we want to talk about that, or are we fucking worried, or what's going on?
I mean,
all I saw was the photo of the robot.
He had a human inside of it. He started talking about, it's 5 feet, blah, blah, blah inches, is going to do this, is going to do that. What Elon Musk is a master at, he's taking a page from even like those old school automobile companies, like the Mercedes or the BMWs, they make these concept cars. Mm-hmm. They're never going to be made, but it's a concept car that gets people excited. Mm-hmm. Brands will do this all the time. They'll make some one of one unique item and get people excited. Nike, whomever, they make the cleats for Usain Bolt when he was, Puma or whatever, did the cleats for him when he ran the in the Olympics. These are just moments to get people excited. The problem is when Elon Musk does it, people take it seriously.
Yeah, so you got like 100,000 pre-orders already?
Yeah. So it's like a lot of writers in tech are like, this is never coming out. This is fucking just a joke.
Yeah.
And he's kind of trolling you, but he knows he just needs to keep people's attention on him.
Yeah.
It's what he did with the flamethrower, what he did with the tequila.
Yeah.
It's just about attention, but people get carried away and be like, oh my God, I can't wait to get my robot. He's going to be
That's the exact goal, right?
Yeah.
You know, like the more carried away, the more stupid people react, the better.
You have to like push when you're these new age companies. Do you remember when Amazon had on 60 Minutes the drones?
Yep.
That was that was what 10 plus years ago?
Yeah, roughly 8 or 10. Probably.
Yeah. And it's everyone thought that was a joke at that time.
Yeah.
And obviously now it's happening in pieces. It's happening in different places. But like it got everyone's attention that Amazon is this super innovative company.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he's doing here. He's just saying like, you don't know what I'll come up with next.
Yep.
And just keep following me because of that.
Plus, there's so many like Tesla nerds on YouTube. Like, I'm gonna get my Tesla robot. And what's gonna happen? Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get it right after you get your Cybertruck, which is probably
your Roadster.
I think that's what
any
he's
of it.
showing.
Your fucking self-driving mode.
Yeah.
It's so the whole thing is built on what could be.
Right now, you get a car that's electric charged.
Yeah, guess what he built those robots with? All of your deposits on the Cybertruck.
But it is. I think he's like kind of teasing it because obviously it's a joke, but I think there's some seriousness behind it. Meaning the AI team at Tesla is working on some crazy shit. Like, yeah, we're not there yet, but we're working on some things.
Yeah.
Similar to what I think Dee just talked about with Amazon.
He's a genius. I love it. Keep it interesting. You know what I mean? Do it.
Yeah.
Do a presentation where the robots are all marching around and do the whole thing.
Yep.
He's Tony Stark. I'm all in.
Yep. I agree.
I still don't get how he has time to do all this.
Zero clue.
SpaceX.
I will say, like, that's a question. How does Elon Musk, I guess it's just tremendous upside. Like, Elon Musk keeps a group, obviously, of the most talented, like, engineers and brilliant minds in the world working on, because that's the only way he's doing it, right? Is he has an incredible team at SpaceX. He has an incredible team at Tesla.
Yep.
And he keeps them all locked in.
But we heard that all in episode where Jason went to New York with Elon to do Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
The whole week he was prepping. So who was running the companies?
They have to be just have brilliant people.
They got robots.
Yeah, these fucking robots on it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, let's talk about Sha'Carri Richardson. I hate that I'm the host on this one because I'm the one who's going to lob it up and I feel like I'm going to get canceled or something. But I saw that she finished last in a 100-meter race.
Prefontaine Classic, which is the Nike race up north.
This is the first official race post drama that happened?
Yes. So
how last? What happened?
She was 9th.
There was 9 people?
I think there's 10.
But isn't she like incredible? I don't really know shit about running.
Okay, first thing, clearly marijuana is not a performance-enhancing drug.
Or maybe it is. She cut it, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you get busted and all of a sudden,
yeah,
you have the fast weed.
Oh my God.
It's just a little strange.
I'll tell you this. If you guys want a good laugh,
conservative anything.
Go on Black Twitter.
Oh.
Yes.
Are they roasting her?
Oh my God.
Yes.
No.
Yes. They have,
I thought you was going to say go on Tucker Carlson.
No, I mean, I'm sure that'll be bad too.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is that, afterwards they interviewed her and she has a lot of confidence. She's like, I feel good about it. Like, I'm not giving up. You guys can talk all the shit you want. And it sounded, I don't know if it's confirmed, but she didn't continue the rest of the races that she was planned for after this 9th place finish. But we need to confirm that. Can you look that up, Jason?
Is it the stress of all the drama? Maybe she wasn't training properly. Like, what happened here?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Jamaicans are very fast.
She's Jamaican?
That's true.
No.
Oh,
No, they were 1, 2, and 3. They're really, really fast. Which is obviously they're the fastest people on earth. So
But how do you get to it's just like, did the hype get us? Like, to me, this is arguably one of the most important races in the story of her career. In the sense of, you come back and smoke everyone in this one, no pun intended.
Yes.
And it's like, damn, we did fuck up.
Yes, and
So
that's
in
what
April,
I think
here's
people.
the thing. In April 2021, she became the 6th fastest woman of all time. So April 2021 is what, 5 months ago?
Mm-hmm. The
So
sixth.
she clearly, it's 6, she clearly has talent. I think she might have just botched the race.
This was an important one. I'm sad. I would like to know the story. And so Black Twitter is just memes and the whole shebang, or what?
Yeah, like the reason why she was last because she had a bag of weed in her hand. It's just like
It's crazy how quick like you go from being this like untouchable.
Yeah, and here's the thing: the reason why I even brought it up is in sports or in life, you just have to win. You lose, you're a fucking loser. That's
No, but isn't it interesting who
you have to win?
We need
No,
that
but-
clip. Just literally, that's the clip. Like, I want you to like,
Why don't you
like
reset
edit.
it, D?
I want you to edit like a crowd, like he's at a motivational speech, and they're just like, yes. In life, you have to win, otherwise you're a fucking loser. Yeah, you know, I agree, but I think that might be controversial.
But don't you think it's interesting who social media is allowed to take the kid gloves off for? So Simone Biles was untouchable. You weren't allowed to say anything negative.
No.
She's a track star, also black, and they're roasting her.
But Sha'Carri never won anything. Simone Biles was a winner.
Agree.
No.
So that's what it is. You have to win. Otherwise you're a loser. You have to win, otherwise you're a loser. Let's all say that together.
The math adds up. It adds up.
Simone won. As long as you win, you got to have championships. You got to have gold medals. You have to have first place finishes. These are things that like cement.
I guess I'm looking at Sha'Carri's Wikipedia. So she won women's outdoor track and field 100 meter in 2009 NCAA and AAU Junior Olympics 2016-17. No gold medals.
Yeah, you got to have shiny medals.
It's just like, damn, man, if that's the case, I hate to talk about it this way because I'm speaking strictly from like once again, like a manager's perspective.
Yeah.
But you just had so many eyeballs on you.
Oh my God.
You train your ass off and you come back and smoke everyone in that race.
You're ready for the next Olympics. You're a freaking hero.
And it's like, see, the Olympics fucked up. She would have got gold.
Yeah, I was hoping she won just for that story. Like she went. Ninth is bad.
You can't say that's fast Jamaicans. That only covers 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Where was 4?
Yeah. And 4th, it was from like Norway. Then like, fuck.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, listen, hopefully she recovers. I like her whole thing. I like her whole like approach to this and her kind of fuck it thing. I liked it. I'm rooting for her.
I like it when you win.
Yeah.
It doesn't work when you lose. It only works
What's
when
the
you
rule
win.
again, D?
Remind me. It's if you win, you're a
If you win, you're a winner. You lose, you're a loser.
Got it. Okay. All right. Moving on.
By the way, while we're on that topic of just sports in general, we all go throughout society all the time and we interact with people.
Mm-hmm.
People are fucking strange.
Strange, yeah.
Weird.
Very weird.
My son, my oldest, is playing soccer every week.
Oh.
I cannot tell you, and I know there's a lot of parents who are listening, I cannot tell you the importance of youth sports. They're so fucking important for boys, girls, for everyone, for development later in life.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's so, like, I see what my son gets exposed to because he's playing soccer. It's like, I think in his class, there's 4 girls, 4 boys. There's 8 kids altogether. It's fucking game changing. Just seeing the kids, how they interact. They're learning just boundaries, teamwork. They're they have a coach.
Not to be a loser.
Yeah, it's just all of those things.
Yeah.
But it's just like I'm watching it with my like own eyes with this child, and I was like, we played sports since age 5 or 6 till we were graduating high school.
Yeah.
It was such a big part of our life, and we obviously enjoyed sports. I don't know if my kids are going to be into sports in a few years, but
when are you giving him the talk, D?
Which talk?
The one we just had.
The lose?
Yeah.
I want you to sit him down and say, if you win, you're a winner.
10.
10. How old is he now?
He's 4.
I don't know, man. I'm voting for 6.
6 is my not
I'm
bad
saying
idea.
6. Your brain's real mushy and things stick.
Yeah.
And you want him to remember for the rest of his life. In the back of his head, he just hears, if you
I
lose,
have
you're a
vivid memories
loser.
from I have vivid memories from first grade on, so that's 6. That's when I'm
telling you.
even as an
You
adult,
you know what T-shirt he was wearing yesterday?
Don't be a loser. Donald Trump.
Winners never quit.
Mav's wearing that today.
Yeah, see? Because you
I like
win.
what
Did you
guys
guys
are
get
doing.
us that shirt? Who got us that shirt?
Maybe we did.
No, you not only bought it for him, but you passed it throughout. You said, listen, no Murthys are going to be losers.
We ain't raising no fucking losers in this
For
house.
all you kids. Gather around. If you win, you're a winner.
If you lose, you're a loser.
Uncle D's yelling again. Imagine like drunk old D at like,
Soccer
70 at soccer practice.
But you
If
started out
win.
saying you started saying people are weird.
Well,
What does that have to do?
Oh, yeah.
No, because I think
Because they're losers?
no, that's one reason. The bigger reason is I would love to see this as a just societal experiment of 25-year-olds that played some sort of youth team sport versus not, and see how they interact in society. And I think even if you played 2 years, like from 6 to 8, and you were forced to go to soccer every week because your parents enjoyed it, I think it makes a massive...
I think it's more than 6 to 8. I think you have to go up into your teens and drop out in high school. I think you need extended experience of losing and realizing losing sucks. So you want to be a winner.
But it's not that. You're missing my point. My point is more of like today's climate, we're okay with just sitting in a room and not interacting with each other. Yeah. And I think that hurts you later in life.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
When you go to the workplace, when you have to deal with conflict, when you have to deal with life, it's challenging. And I think when you're on the field as a young person and you're just kind of learning how to, and I don't know what other things are like the sports equivalent. I only have exposure to sports, but like sports has that I think like even the type of sport you play, like if let's say my son gets into tennis, that's a lonely ass sport. Mm-hmm. It's not great for development either. I don't think so. Golf, it's not like those people.
Golf's not good. Golf's for after you get rich doing something else.
Yes, but I don't. 10 years old, just by yourself on fucking golf course. It's like I
remember when I was 16, I would try to play like the really tough tennis tournaments in the juniors, and I wasn't good enough to like go very far. But I saw the really good players; they were all a bunch of bitches.
You see the biggest star in the world just throwing a fit when he loses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just being the perfect picture of a bitch.
And Roger Federer has said, I could have been professional in many sports. I played so many team sports too. Yeah. I think the mere fact that he played those team sports made him a better tennis player, made him a better person, the way he handles conflict. Yeah. What I'm witnessing with my child, I think is the power of just putting your kid out with other kids and letting them figure things out.
I don't think it's the same when you're with headphones on and kids are screaming racial slurs on Call of Duty. I don't think you get the same
team building
development.
I mean, you played sports, Jason.
Yeah.
I mean, does that have an impact on your life?
No, absolutely. I feel like it does. Now that you're bringing it up and kind of like highlighting it, I feel like it does. Yeah, because like playing soccer, literally since I was like 8 years old, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 or 5 days a week. It's like you're around people, you develop a sense of teamwork, you care about the people around you, and you develop deeper relationships with them. I think it's great.
And I think drama
that should be
the
ad for soccer.
One of the two. You guys both had good points.
Drama is actually a very unique case. Like you retrained your personality from skate guy to like business guy that doesn't like hate everything.
Totally. But I will say the way that I look at my own experience is I think skateboarding taught me a lot of negative things that I will not teach to my kids, which is like everything sucks. You're either one of us or you're lame, and like fucking
you're a loser.
Cigarettes. But it taught me an absolutely priceless thing, which is like self-sufficient learning and growing and like goal setting. Like I want to learn how to do this trick, and I want to do it down those set of stairs this summer.
And I'm going to keep doing it.
And you sit in the parking lot and like in the snow. Like I would clear a path of 10 feet in the snow in Ohio and just try over and over and over to learn a trick. There's nothing that I'm that passionate about today. I mean, that's insanity, right? I mean, what the fuck? And like falling and like going in like cold and bleeding. And so it taught me that I myself could attain goals. So I'm very thankful for that. But I did miss like how to work with a team and work with other people, and the fact that you need other people to help you, and that I had to learn later in life. But yeah, I think sports are. I mean, look, not to get too like philosophical guy about it, but the reason why sports are like an unbreakable piece of human culture is because they are a metaphor for life. It's like when you see someone come up from blah, 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 or overcome adversity and win the game. Like those are ancient stories.
And play injured. That's like doing things when you don't want to.
Yeah. And so that's why like we'll never, it's just, so you have to learn those lessons.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I do, I'm sitting here trying to think of, because I like to give alternate things just for fun. And I'm trying to think of what another fun thing could be, another thing that could teach that. And I don't think there's anything as good.
No.
Like I think the lessons you learn in sports, because it's also fun.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You could sit and like read a book to your kid all day about fucking teamwork and discipline. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
Like you get to do something fun and learn these lessons that help you achieve a goal. I don't know what's better.
Here's a question.
Sport.
Here's a question. So we had Dee's kids and a few other kids over at our place yesterday, and all they did was run around and play. At what age do they say no more?
No more play?
No more running around. Everyone was just running around with their head cut off.
But you mean like
the narrative now is the youth just sits in their room, closes the door, plays games.
But when they discover video games.
Yeah, you got to keep video games out of that house.
Like that's why we don't put on the TV. We know he's a fucking zombie when he watches TV.
Yeah, I think 10.
Yeah.
I think 10-ish.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some of these clips. There's really young kids yelling some fucked up shit into that microphone on Call of Duty.
Yeah.
But isn't that interesting? The natural instinct for humans is to run around, play, be outside, and like.
Yeah, I think you got to foster that as a parent. I think you got to turn that into something with some structure. A sport or a.
I'll tell you from an educational standpoint, we send our kid. Dominic and our youngest will go there this year to a preschool. Their entire philosophy is around playing. The kids don't need to learn right now.
Yeah.
They need to play.
Yeah.
It's a very progressive school, the way they think, the way they act. The lady that runs it is fucking brilliant. Mm-hmm. We went and visited all these preschools. We went to this one and both my wife and I were like, holy shit. And it's true. You don't need to learn anything right now. Right now, you need to learn how to deal with your emotion. It's more about emotional development than it is about educational development because you have your whole life to learn. And by the way, what the fuck do we remember from K through 12? Nothing.
Literally.
I think, it's completely right. If you can mentally train yourself, you could just learn when you start listening to podcasts at 14. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I used to be very much of an academic for my kids. I was like, I really want them to be very academic. And now that I'm raising them and I'm getting exposed to these different types of ways to educate your children, I'm like, fuck, playing makes more sense to me. Yeah. Emotional development. Because like, what are your challenges when you're an adult? Not that you don't know anything. It's that you emotionally can't handle situations.
Yeah.
So I think spend the time and energy on emotional development. Spend the effort on learning what your child is actually interested in.
Yeah.
Like no one does that. Yeah. Do you imagine if our parents... What are you actually interested in?
Yeah.
I don't know what I was interested in as a kid anymore. Like, but imagine if someone asked us, my teacher asked me and said, you know what? Math isn't for you.
Yeah.
And why don't you try something else?
Yeah.
And be passionate about it. And maybe the lady always says, we want the children to love to learn.
Yeah.
Our kids today don't love to learn. They don't want to learn.
Because it's treated so miserably.
Yeah.
It's like, sit down, you have 30 minutes, you're fucking learning.
Yeah. Exactly.
Until that bell rings.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
This is where like I see the most inequality coming.
Yeah.
Is that like people who have access to these types of schools, like our kids are just going to be mentally different. And I'm not saying they're going to be smarter.
Yeah.
They're just emotionally going to be different. They're going to be prepared in a different way.
Because you're saying you could acquire those skills no matter what.
I saw a clip. Joel Embiid retweeted the other day of him playing basketball his first year.
Yeah.
He was a JV player. And I think that was 10 years ago. The guy didn't play basketball until he was a teenager.
It's same with like Giannis, right?
Yeah.
You're talking like 2 of the top 5 players in the NBA didn't start playing until they're 16.
Yeah, so you're talking about that's sports. But I think even in education, we're not ready when we're 3rd grade to fucking learn anything.
Yeah.
We're just not. And 4th grade or 5th grade, there's going to be, everyone's different. And I think people's minds and brains will develop different. But like, we don't even give people a chance to like find a passion, like the idea of loving to learn. And that's why I'm totally so open to whatever my kid is into.
Yeah.
I had a vision when we had a boy. I was like, oh, I want to make, now I'm just like, what are you interested in? You're interested in garbage truck? Fuck it. Yeah. We're all in on trash.
All in. You can own the biggest trash. You can revolutionize the trash business
Waste
in major
management
cities.
is a massive company.
Yeah, maybe it'd be a mob boss.
Yeah, come on. Get him a little BB gun.
He has an Italian name.
Yeah, get him a BB gun and just let him start practicing shaking people down.
Give me all your trash, kid.
Yeah, I think the sad thing is all that really matters for the most part are the qualities of like discipline, enjoying learning, believing you can learn anything.
Yes.
That's what matters, not necessarily like exactly what you know at 12.
Yeah, and I get it. There's some brilliant people.
Because the real issue with education, K through 12, pretty much, I would even extend it to college, is just memorizing shit. Like you're not actually critically thinking.
I mean, think about the people we know, really think about it, that started great businesses or had great success, that learned about that industry the year before.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, you just know that you're smart and you can figure shit out.
Yeah.
But you're like, oh, there's an opportunity here. Let me research the industry.
Yeah.
And then let me build a great business or whatever it is you like to do. You can learn shit pretty fast.
I'll tell you, I see more critical thinking with my kid with Legos than any school can properly teach him right away.
Yeah.
Dumping Legos instructions, figure this shit out.
Yeah.
And he'll sit there for hours till he figures it out.
Yeah.
And I think just simple as that is so much more empowering than, I don't know. I just obviously went on a huge tangent here, but that's why I went into youth sports. As a parent, I'm witnessing all these things. And I'm like, fuck, life can be pretty simple for everyone.
Yeah.
And we could really close the gap on a lot of things if we thought a little bit broader about life.
I agree. I know that you hate reading, but I just...
Okay.
And this book is
maybe
not...
Dominic loves reading, so maybe I'll have him read it to me.
This book's a tough read,
Okay.
but there is a book called Mindset, and there is studies in the book. There's not studies of people who played sports and people who didn't, but there are studies of people who spoke this way and thought this way and people who didn't. And it's the difference of saying like, you got a good grade because you're smart, or you got a good grade because you studied very hard. It's the instilling in someone that your mind says you can grow and you can learn anything, as opposed to you have innate skills.
Yeah.
And it is so fucking good. And there are studies about where people end up with those two different mindsets. And it's fascinating. It's a very big difference.
Where do they end up? So
the people
say that
with
again?
So the long story short is the people, there's two types of mindsets as defined by this book. One is growth mindset, the other is fixed mindset. One is that you get good grades, you do good, you achieve because you worked hard, because you studied, because you learned about it. The other side is you did that because you're smart. You have these innate skills. And the people who are taught to believe that you can grow and you can learn anything at any time and you can consistently evolve, do significantly better in life than people that think like, oh, you're smart or you're not. You're this or you're athletic or you're not. There are really real studies that people end up in significantly better areas. And it's fascinating because all it is the difference of how people talk to people.
Yeah.
Are you capable of learning whatever you want to know and achieving, or you're not one of them, you're not smart. You're not one of the smart ones.
And I think I treated in my entire high school, college, the worst of the two. It was like, I'm just going to figure out how to get an A, not like I'm trying to learn the most in these classes.
Yeah, but I think the difference is the difference is when you tell someone, for instance, like you do good in school because you're smart and you're just smart and that's how it is. What also some kids do fine that way, but also what happens a lot is those kids get into a new challenging environment and they start sucking, and then they're like, oh my God, my whole image is shattered. I thought I was one of the smart kids. Right. Now I'm dumb. Now I'm whatever. And it's just that minor shift. I don't know. You should check it out. It's so good. I just know it.
It's called Mindset?
It's called Mindset by Carol Dweck. But it is as close that I know to something that has studied the way that you treat young brains and where human beings end up because of it.
Yeah. You know the marshmallow test that Kylie Jenner did on her? So
how dumb do?
So Haley did M&Ms because he likes M&Ms.
Yeah.
Or like whatever the no sugar version of M&Ms are.
Yeah.
Put it on the table and said, if you wait like whatever, 3-4 minutes, whatever the test is. You'll get 2. If you eat this, you only get this one. So she hit the camera. She walked away and had the camera on him, and he grabbed it immediately.
Yeah.
And he starts playing with it, and then he puts it in his mouth.
Yeah.
And he goes, puts it back down, looks at it, starts playing, and he just walks away.
Completely. Not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's talk about self-control and willpower.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, drugs are bad, Dom. He's like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah. But it's funny because when I saw that, I was just seeing our youngest now. I was like, I think Miles would eat it and Dominic wouldn't.
Yeah. But you got to wait till that age.
Yeah.
That age where you're supposed to develop some willpower.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's good. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Okay, let's close it out with a guy who has very similar views to D on the winner-loser topic. Good old DJT. This looks to me like he's on a campaign.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's starting for 2024. He has a new slogan, Save America. He's back to his old rally work, doing some crowd work. And he's going hard. He's testing out his new material, I think.
Yeah.
Here's one thing that I honestly think, I'm so curious to see how this plays out, but I feel like what we just witnessed is him try out some new material. We saw him read a reaction, and I think he's going to change his stance.
Yep.
And that is, he said people should go get vaccinated.
He said exactly this. He's like, and you know what? I believe totally in your freedom. I do. You got to do what you have to do. But I recommend take the vaccines. I did. It's good. Take the vaccines.
And what was the reaction?
Boo!
This is in Alabama, which is
to me, that's soft playing a new. You're like, build that wall.
Okay, yeah.
Anyone interested in building a wall?
He's like Chappelle testing.
Yeah.
We saw Kevin Hart at Harriet's.
Yes.
Do like testing the material.
And you see what jokes made it, and you see what didn't, and it's what the crowd reacted to. I think that's what Trump's
Kanye's doing with his album right now. He's A/B testing.
Just fake dropping it every week.
Yeah, well, he's playing the music, and they're like, that song hit.
Yeah.
That Jay-Z song everyone likes.
Yeah, he's crowdsourcing. I really think you're going to see, I don't know. I think that you would see him change his tone because he's a master of giving the audience what they want.
Yeah, he's a master of entertainment. It's sort of what we talked about in my content recommendation, the Matt Taibbi book, Hate Inc. Everything's turned into entertainment that actually resonates. So the news has to be entertainment. Politicians have to be entertaining. And if they aren't...
You know what? If I'm Donald Trump, what I do, I take a video of me taking out the antibodies out of my body. I don't even need them.
Like ripping them out?
Yes, I don't need them.
Because if you think about it, even if you go to the left...
The whole thing's fake.
It's American blood.
American blood's enough.
These colors don't run or whatever. Yeah.
If you think about it, even on the left, who are the politicians that resonate? AOC, Bernie Sanders. They're entertaining. They say things that get crowds riled up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a battle of entertainment. It's a battle of influence. And that's the way you do it. I think, to me, that really felt like a comedian trying out jokes. We'll see what happens. My forecast is 2024, or on the way to 2024, you're going to hear a little bit less about that vaccine.
Yeah, he is never going to mention it again.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go, man. It's scary to see. I'll say it on the pod. I'm nervous about, I'm sensing the groundswell of.
I don't think it's a groundswell. It's air swell.
Sorry, it's a fucking swell. It's a tidal wave.
It's a tidal wave.
But before, when Trump got elected, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming. Now it seems wide out in the open.
I think
we see influencers publicly posting with Donald Trump Jr., people we know that 4 years ago you'd be done in Hollywood
if you read the comments, it's it's a lot of support.
It's mainly support.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the Nelk Boys, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we got roasted, I believe, because I asked us to take it down because I don't want that smoke. But I believe there was a TikTok video about us saying that Addison Rae was going to lose audience because of the Trump thing. And people were roasting us for being out of touch, that we think that's what would happen.
And so we're wrong.
And so I will kindly pull my video and let you guys have at it. I want none of that.
He never, so even in Trump's rise to the presidency, he never had pop culture youth.
Now he has it.
Correct.
Now he does.
It's wild, man. Okay. Well, that's it. welcome to what an episode. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you think when we go deep on personal experiences and topics. That's a little bit different than just rifling through topics. So give us some feedback. Let us know what you think.
Let us know for winners or losers.
Yeah, let us know, and maybe let us know what you are. Just say, hey,
I'm 26. I'm
Quite
from
frankly, I'm a loser. And,
St. Louis. I'm a loser.
And I'd like to switch to being a winner. Any tips?
Yeah, any tips? We should do winner tips.
Losers to winners.
Yeah.
Every Friday at 3 p.m. Okay, that's all we got. Do we have shout outs or anything?
No.
We have shout outs.
Oh, we do?
We have 2 shout outs.
What do we got?
So we have one. It says, hey, fellow Cathys. I hope you're all doing well. My name is Sobhan Najad, and I'm the co-founder of Grizzly Tutors, a tutoring service that's there to make sure that your young Cathys are ready for the transition back to school.
Wow.
If you have a middle or high school child who's struggling in a tricky AP, math, physics, or language class and could use a helping hand, then look no further. Grizzly Tutors will pair your learner with a UC Berkeley undergrad who is passionate about their major and invested in your child's success. All you Cathys, go to grizzlytutors.com right now, select hire a tutor, tell us you're a Cathy, and we'll provide your child a 1-hour session for free.
All right.
Lastly, and this is important, so listen up.
Is this a free ad?
Yeah, it sounds like a free ad, Grizzly.
This is the best
Grizzlies.
part. This is the best part. Lastly, if we receive 15 signups, we'll put Jason's face on the homepage and we'll link directly to all of Group Chat's socials. This is 100% genuinely. We will put your face on our homepage.
If you receive 15 signups, you'll be sending an invoice for $10,000.
Yeah, Jason's face ain't gonna cut it, Grizzly. Okay, well, that was a good job on sneaking by.
Why do I feel like Jason got some backdoor money?
I know. Jason's gonna have some new shoes on Monday.
Yeah. Yo, just slay
It
the
was just
shout
a
out.
DM.
Yep.
Oh,
It was just a
sure.
DM.
Sure.
And then we also have one from @SteezyNickel on Instagram.
Yep.
I might have to do another shout out for myself. My birthday's August 24th. Last year, you guys gave me a shout out. I've been a long time 5'4" fan, and I did some work with drama on Robin Big and the Fantasy Factory.
I remember.
I recently bought some GRC every day and flight pants and don't wear anything else, especially on set. And have even gotten a few people to use the promo code to get on the revolution.
Nice.
I'm not sure if there's a bigger stand of Group Chat, but I'd like to put my name in the hat. Thanks for always entertaining me and keeping me up to date.
Nice.
Shout out to you. Happy birthday.
A24
Happy
Kobe
birthday.
Day.
That's the difference between a shout out and a fake ad.
Yeah.
Grizzly Tutors just really stuck in.
Swindled the system here. Okay, well, good for you. You got passed and you got passed. Is that it?
That's it.
All right.
All right, guys. Everyone have a good Sunday. It'll be Sunday evening, I guess, when this goes up, and we will see you on Tuesday.